So Joe Bush, Water Resources Commissioner for Ottawa County. What's a day like for an average day for a water commissioner? I mean, you have so much water and so many parks here in Ottawa County. It's just incredible. And we're here today at this beautiful pavilion overlooking the Grand River. This is just one part of what you probably deal with every single day.
Well, number one, I appreciate you being here today to connect with all the folks in the room. A daily thing on the Water Resources Commissioner is pretty much oversee 1,300 county drains, and we also do all the soil erosion permits. We review all the developments in Ottawa County, so that's keeping us busy. Currently, we have about 110 reviews that we're doing right now, development-wise.
People talk about soil erosion, and they don't really know what that means. I mean, you think about a construction site, you might see the mud coming off of it. Today, we haven't had rain for a while in the Grand River. It's actually pretty clear. When I stood out on the patio or the deck, I could look down and I could literally see the bottom. I mean, if there are fish there, I might be able to spot them. But we can always tell when heavy rains come through, whether it's through the storm sewers or construction sites, that we get this sediment that drains off. That's your job to make sure that we don't see all that sediment in there. And so you do that through, like, what kind of means? Like just your permitting process,
correct.
But like
Yep.
how you put up things to mitigate erosion, silt fences, things like that.
Yep. So we have the soil erosion program. It always isn't in the water resources or drain commissioners. One of the biggest things is when we do a soil erosion, we have our own soil erosion agent in-house. So everybody has to get a permit when it's whether 500 feet from a water course or over an acre. And every development has a review process, and they'll have those measures put up as well. One unique thing about Ottawa County, when we look out here and we got the Grand River, is the fact that we're getting I think there's 17 counties in the watershed for the Grand River watershed. Yeah. So we're getting other counties' waters as well downstream.
250 miles upstream,
Absolutely.
Somebody could be doing something that may have an unintended consequence for what we see here in Kent and Ottawa counties.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things that I do as your elected official is collaborate and build relationships with my counterparts like Ken Yonker in Kent County, all the way up in the Jackson County, making sure that those folks are doing the right, proper soil erosion measures as well. Water quality is a big issue of mine, and it should be a big issue for all of us to keep it clean, because it's our future. Water is life.
And water is life, and we know that this river is the longest river in the state of Michigan.
Absolutely.
And what happens upstream, whether it's Kent, Ottawa, or Jackson, that water eventually makes its way out to Lake Michigan.
Absolutely.
Many of our communities get our water from there, so it's important that, I think sometimes people think of government as bureaucracy, but really our intention here is to make sure that we have clean water for the fish, for wildlife,
Absolutely.
But for us as humans, and then we protect this for the next generation.
Absolutely. And the other issue we're having in Ottawa County is water quantity. There's an issue right here in Allendale as our central spot where there's a deficiency of water in the deep aquifer down in the bedrock. Yeah. So right now we're doing studies on that. Again, another water issue that everybody thinks we live so close to either the Grand River or Lake Michigan that we got plenty of water. That's not necessarily true, because the Lake Michigan is not connected to the deep aquifer, so we're finding that out. So,
well, that's great, because we know that when you have rapid growth, you have people both putting in wells and wanting municipal water. That water is going to come from someplace. So you finding ways to ensure that we have clean and safe drinking water.
Absolutely.
That's really great. So thanks for doing that for us.
Absolutely. One of the other pieces of legislation I want to focus on, and maybe you'll have the Eagle folks later, is water reuse. And Fairlife is one of our biggest, I want to say, water users in Ottawa County, up in Coopersville.
Yeah.
They're getting the main sewer line ran to Muskegon, but we're looking at water reuse, and how do we do that? So I think we're working on legislation right now for the future of how can we reuse water for non-human consumption for the agricultural communities up in the Coopersville area, the northern parts of the county where it's all primarily ag. How can we use that for, again, non-human consumption?
Sometimes people talk about that as purple water. We see that in places, more arid states, California, Arizona, or Israel, where they say, look, this is still water that's really good for a lot of things. We shouldn't just get rid of it.
Correct.
We can and should use it. We've paid to somehow pump it here, and let's be more efficient with it. That's great. I'm looking forward to learn more about that.
And then Leprino cheese right here in Allendale, they discharge all their millions of gallons of water, which is somewhat clean.
Yeah.
When I say clean, you can almost drink it.
Yeah.
But they discharge it into one of the drains that goes into the Grand River, and we're trying to recapture that and reuse it for irrigation in Allendale.
Right.
That is for lawns,
Yeah.
not just drinking water,
Sure.
but non-human consumption again.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks for your good work here in Ottawa
Absolutely.
County.
Well, thank you
I think
for coming
sometimes
out.
it's a thankless job, and people call you when there's problems, but being proactive like you do is really so important to all of us. So thanks
Absolutely.
again. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.